Greetings, Sir Janus. My name is Michelangelo L. Valdez, and I will be explaining the package model that has three classes: the passenger class, bus class, and the route class. Now I'll be explaining the passenger class. The passenger class represents a single passenger in the system, storing important information such as the unique ID, name urgency level, passenger name, and destination stop. This class acts as a model that other parts of the program can use when managing passengers, storing items, or placing them inside the data structures like priority queues or graphs. Next thing is the get passenger unique ID. Here in the get passenger method, this method returns the unique ID so the system can identify who the passenger is, and it will be used in searching, comparing, tracking, and specific passengers later in the program. This next thing is the setter method for the passenger unique ID. This passenger method helps or assigns the unique ID to the passenger object. Future systems that updates or correct IDs will rely on the method to properly change to the stored value. Next method is get passenger name. The get passenger name method. This method stores passenger name whenever the system needs to display or sort or verify a passenger. It becomes helpful when generating reports or logs involving the passenger identities. Next thing is the set passenger name. Here, the passenger name sets the methods with name within the object. Any feature that allows editing registered passenger information will use this method to apply the changes safely. Next method is the get urgency level. Here, the urgency level of the passenger, which is useful when implementing priority-based operation. Systems such as emergency routing or fast-track boarding can use this information to rank passengers. Next thing is the set urgency level. So the set urgency level is assigned to the passenger. Future upgrades where urgency might dynamically change, such as medical emergencies, will use this method to adjust the priority in real time. Next thing is get destination loops, destination stop method. This method returns the passenger destination stop, allowing the system to the route or group passenger based on where they are headed. It is essential when simulating the bus routes or generating unload sequences. And the last thing here in the passenger class is the set destination stop. This method helps that updates the destination to stop of the passenger. If a system feature later allows the passenger to modify their drop-off point, this method ensures the value of its safety. Next thing is the bus class. This is the bus constructor that contains unique bus ID, current stop, and if the bus is available. The bus represents a single bus in a system. It keeps track of the bus unique ID, current stop, and whether it is available to pick up passengers. And this class serves as the model for all operations involving bus assignment, route tracking, and availability management. Next thing is the available method. The available method is the current availability status of the bus. The system will use this information whenever it searches for the nearest bus that is free to take a passenger. The next thing is the method for the set available. The set available method, availability of the bus when a bus is dispatched or complete trip. This method will mark it as a busy or available, ensuring accurate tracking in the system. Next thing is the get current stop method. The get current stop method stop the index of the bus. It is essential for routing calculations, determining which bus is the nearest to a passenger, and updating to the bus position after its trip. Next thing is the set current stop method. The set current stop method updates the current location of the bus after completing its trip. The system will use this method to ensure the bus new position is correctly stored. Next thing is the getBusID method. The getBusID method is the unique identifier of the bus. The system uses this ID to differentiate buses when assigning routes or displaying fleet information. Next thing is the setBusID. The setBusID method is in future scenarios where bus IDs needs to be corrected or reassigned. This method allows safe modifications without affecting other attributes. Next thing is the route conversation result class. Next that I will be explaining is the route computation result class. Now I will be explaining the constructor or introduction of the route computation result. The route computation result store class stores the final path of the total distance computed during a bus dispatch. It acts as a container for results of the route calculations and ensures that the path and the distance information can be safely used by other parts of the system. Next thing is the getPathNames method. The getPathName method copied of the array of stop's name along the route. It allows the system to display or process the stop without changing the original route data. Next thing is the setPathNames method. Here, this method purpose is to update the stop name array by making a safe copy of future features that modify or recalculate. Routes can use this method to safely replace the route path without corrupting previous data. Next thing is the getTotalDistance method. The getTotalDistance method is this method returns the total distance of the route, and it is used for reporting visualization or the trip summary calculations to show how far the bus has been or has traveled. The next method is the setTotalDistance method. The setTotalDistance method stores total distance of the bus and for future features that can recalculate or distance or adjust routes dynamically that can rely on this method to maintain accurate travel information. This whole class for future use route computation result class. This class will be used by visualization manager to display the bus route and by the summary report system to log distance trips, and any feature that needs route information or distance tracking will rely on the class as a core data container. And that's all. Thank you po.
So, mga sponsors, I'm Mark James Punbayan and I'll be explaining the passenger tree class. Passenger tree is a binary search tree designed to store passenger requests sorted by urgency level. It allows quick retrieval of the most urgent passenger while keeping the data organized for insertion, deletion, and traversal. So the first method of our passenger tree class is the insert method. This method takes a passenger object and inserts it into the binary search tree. It uses a helper method to recursively find the correct position based on urgency, ensuring that the higher priority passenger can be easily accessed later. So the next method is the insert helper method. So the insert helper method is a private recursive function that compares the urgency of the new passenger with the current node and places it in the left or right subtree accordingly. This method preserves the binary search tree structure. For the next method, it is the search key method. It checks whether a passenger with a specific urgency level exists in the tree. It returns a boolean and calls the recursive helper method to traverse the binary search tree. The next method is the search key helper method. It performs the actual recursive search by comparing urgency key with the current node key and navigating to left or right. It returns true if found false otherwise. So the next method is the delete node method. It delete a passenger node based on the urgency key. First, it checks if the node exists during a search key. If found, it calls a recursive helper to remove it safely from the tree. The next method is the delete node helper. So the delete node helper handles deletion in 3 cases: from the delete node with the right child or both children, and a node with only a left child. It uses a successor or predecessor nodes to replace deleted nodes while maintaining binary search tree properties. For the next method, it is the get passenger node. It retrieves the passenger tree node corresponding to a given urgency key, useful when other parts of the system need to access the full passenger object other than just a key. For the next one, it is get passenger helper method. It is a recursive helper for get passenger node that traverses the tree based on an urgency key. And the next one is the replace data method. Updates a node passenger data and urgency with data from another node. Usually primarily during node deletion to maintain binary search tree without restructuring the entire tree. The next one is the display passenger method. Display passenger method prints all passenger in order of urgency. If the tree is empty, it shows an error message. And the next method is the display passenger helper. Display passenger helper method is a recursive in order traversal that prints the ID, name, and urgency of each passenger. It ensures a passenger are displayed from lowest to highest urgency. The next one is empty method. This empty method returns true if there are no passenger in the tree, false otherwise. It is useful for quickly checking if requests are pending. The next one is the find most urgent method. Find most urgent method finds the passenger with the highest urgency by traversing to the rightmost node of DST. This is used when dispatching the most critical request first. The next method is the successor method. It finds the in-order successor of the node, which is the smallest key in the right subtree used during the deletion to replace the removed node. The next one is the predecessor method. It finds the in-order predecessor of the node, which is the largest key in its left subtree. So it is also used during deletion to maintain the binary search tree structure. And the future use of the passenger tree class. This class is critical for request management, ensuring that passengers are served based in urgency. Any future system failures like priority dispatch, route planning, or urgent alerts will rely on the binary search tree to efficiently manage and access passenger requests. Now, meeting sponsor Janos. Now we continue my discussion for passenger tree node. passenger tree node represents a single node in the passenger tree. Each node stores a passenger object, its urgency level, and the references to its left and right child nodes. This class acts as the building block of the binary search tree structure for managing passenger requests. The next is passenger tree node constructor. Passenger tree nodes constructor initializes a node with passenger object, extracts the urgency level as the node key, and sets the both and left right child pointers to null. Every new passenger is inserted into the tree will be wrapped into one of these nodes. And the next is the get passenger data method. It returns the passenger object stored in its node. Other parts of the program can use this to access the passenger full information such as the ID, name, and destination. And for the next method is the set passenger data method. It updates the passenger object in this node. It is useful when modifying or replacing the passenger information without altering the tree structure. The next method is the get urgency level key method. It returns the urgency of the left passenger stored in this node. This key is used by the binary search tree to determine and placement and traversal for priority handling. The next method is the set urgency level key method. Set urgency level key method updates the urgency level key for the node. Future features that allow urgency updates will rely on this to adjust a passenger priority. The next method is the get left method. It returns the left child of the current node used during the binary search tree traversal, insertion, or deletion to navigate the tree. And the next method is the set left method. Set left method assigns the left child of the node essential for building and maintaining the binary search tree structure. The next method is the get right method. It returns the right child of the current node used during the binary search tree traversal, insertion, or deletion. The next method is the set right method. Assigns the right child of the node, helps maintain the binary search tree structure whenever nodes are inserted or deleted. Future use of this passenger tree node class is fundamental. This class is fundamental for storing passenger data inside the binary search tree. It will be used whenever requests are added, search, remove, or prioritize, allowing efficient urgency-based management and traversal of passengers in the system.
Hello and greetings. My name is Kenneth Ryan C. Hoka, and I will be discussing our intelligent public transportation and management for the package of graph, which contains the city stop node, the city route edge, and the city graph that will be discussed by me, and I'll do my best to explain this. Let's get started. So in city stop node represents a bus stop in the city graph. It stores the name of the stop and a reference to the head here of its adjacency list, which contains all outgoing routes from its stop. This class is used to organize stops and their connection in the graph. So we have public city stop node, which is the constructor of our class, which initializes a new stop by assigning its name and selling its adjacency list head to null, so this prepares the node later for outgoing edges. So in the get stop name here, we are returning the bus stop. It's used for display while getting the stop of a city. Like example, I'm going to get the stop of Mall of Asia, like that. Then we have the set stop name method. This method updates the name of the bus stop. It allows future changes such as correcting names or remaining stops in the system. So in the city route edge yet head, this method returns the head of the adjacency list for this stop. The route finding algorithm sees this to traverse all routes going out from this stop. So set edge method or set head. I see. Set head method sets or updates the head of the adjacency list. It allows the system to link new routes to the stop to reorganize when we are going to delete or re-establish new connections. So later I will be discussing the city route edge, and that's all for the class city stop node. Dangal greetings, my name is Kenneth Ryan Sioka, and I will be discussing the city route edge, which represents a single directed connection, which is our edge, from one bus to another within the city graph. Each edge stores the destination's stop index and the distance to the stop. This class is used to build adjacency lists for each loop, forming the underlying graph for route computations. So in the city edge constructor, we have initializes a new edge by setting the destination stop index and the distance. The next pointer is initializes a null because edge is not yet linked to another edge in the adjacency list. We have public get to index, which returns the index of the destination stop for the edge. Route computation and graph traversal use this method to know which stop the edge points to. So set to index will update the destination stop index. That allows adjustments to routes if stops and rename or modified in the graph. We have the get distance method. This method returns to the distance from the current stop to the destination stop along this edge. It is essential for computing route lengths and travel times. And lastly, the set of the distance get and set is the set distance method. This method updates the distance stored in the edge, and the future changes in the route length, such as the route construction or detours, can be reflected during this method. The get next and the set next method. So these two getter setter next, the one get the returns the city route edge and the adjacency list, supporting the linked list representation of multiple outgoing routes, while the set distance is updates the distance stored in the edge and the future changes in the route length, such as that, or in the linked list, like example, get the next of vertex A or get the next edge of the vertex B. So later I will be discussing the city graph class. That will be later. So that's all. Hello, Dangal greetings, and I'm back for the City Graph class, the Intelligent Public Transportation and Management System. So I'm going to summarize all of the methods here so you get the full idea of how City Graph class is going to be implemented, or why is it structured this way. So the city graph represents the entire city's bus network as a graph. Each bus stop is a vertex, and each route between stops is an edge that stores the distance. The graph uses adjacencies, meaning each stop maintains a list of routes leading to other stops. This class is crucial for calculating routes, planning trips, and performing shortest path computations. City graph constructor. So the city graph constructor, which is the public city graph, initializes the graph with a fixed maximum capacity. It sets up an array to hold all stops and keeps track of the current number of stops. Future stop addition and route planning rely on this structure. So this city graph has an array list and linked list combination of the approach that I see first on the module, and then I implemented in array list since it says the graph is constantly growing. So first we need to have the getSize method. This returns the current number of stops in the graph. This is useful when iterating over stop, checking bounds, or displaying total stop. And this also checks if you are reaching the limit. So like in the condition of if this is less than the getSize, then it will continue to operate. So add stop. So add stop is like add vertex in the basic city graph, in the graph. So the add stop method adds a new stop to the graph. If the stops of the array is full, it will automatically resize to accommodate more stops. Each stop is wrapped as a city node. This method ensures that the graph can dynamically grow as more bus stops are added. So getStopName method. So getStopName method gives an index, which is here, that returns the name of the stop at that position. This helps convert internal indices into human readable stop names for visualization or reporting. And next is the add route. The add route adds a directed route from one stop to another, along with the distance that prevents the new edge to adjacency list of the starting stop. This allows multiple routes to be stored efficiently even when a stop has many outgoing edges. So this is the directed route, which is a one-way connection, not unlike the directed route that I will be discussing later that has two ways. So in the add undirected route, it creates a bidirectional connection between the two stops by calling add route twice. Like I said, two-way connection. So this is the hardest part of the for me, the shortest path, because I have to search this in the internet as well as get many references, especially from this. So the shortest path, the idea of the shortest path is to find the minimum distance from a starting vertex to all other vertices in a weighted graph with non-negative edges. So here, for each stop, we will maintain a distance array and a previous array. The distance array is a distance from the start, and the previous array tracks the path. So here we largely set up this from the source here. Then we tried different methods to implement this, most likely needing help from other coding practices and other textbooks. So we use the Dijkstra style approach, the relaxation, since we are counting the shortest paths. It's like comparing each short value to the highest distance and then returning it, or setting up to find the shortest path available in our city stop. So this massively helps, especially the algorithm itself, to identify which is the shortest path. So in which case the best example is to use it in Waze apps. What is the shortest path to go with? Like, is this path available? Is this path the shortest? So the Dijkstra style is the Dijkstra style approach is the best to have as an algorithm. So lastly, we have the resize. So the resize method is simply a helper method for our add vertex, which is the add stop, which case that just copies the whole array itself, and then doubles the old array, and then replaces the old array with the new array with a copy of its own array. So that's it for my discussion about graph. So I hope that I've explained clearly and concisely and summarizes all the needed explanation. So thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.
BusMap class. The BusMap class is a manually implemented hash map that stores bus object using integer keys. It handles collision through linked list chaining and provides a simple way to look up, add, or remove buses without using advanced Java collection. The BusMap constructor. This constructor initializes the bus map by creating a fixed size array of a map entry objects. This prepares the structure to store buses and ensures the map is ready for the insertions. The hash method. This private method computes the index for a given key using modulo operation. It determines wherein the array of bus will be stored or retrieved, providing the foundation for the hash map logic. The size method. This method ensures the capacity of the hash map array. It can be used to inspect the size of the map, validate indices during the operation. Put method. So this is the put method. This method inserts a new bus into the map. If the key already exists, it updates the existing bus. If a collision occurs, it changes the new bus at the end of the linked list at that index. This ensures the buses are safely stored even when multiple keys maps to the same index. The get method. This is the get method. This method retrieves a bus object using its integer key, traverses the chain at the end at the computer index to find the correct bus, returning null if the bus is not present. The remove method. This is the remove method, removing bus by key. So this method deletes a bus from the map using its key. It probably handles entries that aren't part of a chain, ensuring the linked list remains intact after removal. Display method. This method prints the status of all buses in the map, including their IDs, current stops, and availability. It helps the system inspect entire fleet easily. Get entry at index method. This method returns the map entry at the specific index in the table. It is useful for debugging or direct access to a chain of entries. Get bus at index method. This method retrieves the bus object stored at a specific index without traversing the chain. It allows quick inspection of the first bus at an end of an index. The future use of the bus map class. This bus map class serves as a main storage and lookup table for all the buses in the system. Any operations that assign buses to passengers, updates their location, or prints fleet information relies on this class for efficient and safer access to bus objects. The map entry class. The map entry class represents a single element in the custom hash map used to store bus objects. It contains the key for lookup, the bus object itself, and a reference to the next entry to handle collision in the hash table. Map entry constructor. The constructor initializes a new map entry by assigning a key, a bus object, and setting the next pointer to null. This ensures the entry is ready to be linked into a hash table or a collision chain. The getKey method. That is the getKey method, the line 18. This method returns a key associated with this entry. Other parts of the system, like the bus map, use this key to identify and retrieve the correct bus. The setKey method. It's in the line 22 to 24. This method updates the key stored in the entry. It can be used if the system ever needs to reassign keys or correct entry identifiers. The getValue method. On the line 26 to line 28. This method receives the bus object stored in this entry. Managers and dispatchers use this to access bus information during assignments, routes, updates, or reporting. The setValue method. The line 30 to line 32. This method sets or updates the bus object in the entry. It allows the system to replace or modify the bus data without creating a new entry. GetNext method. This method returns the next map entry in the chain. It is used to traverse linked lists of entries in the case of the hash collisions. The setNext method. This method sets the reference to the next entry in the chain. It is critical for managing collisions using chaining, allowing multiple buses to share the same hash index. So, the future use of the map entry class enables the bus map to handle collisions efficiently using chaining. Any features that inserts, update, or searches for buses in the custom hash map relies on this class to store each entry safely and maintain the chain structure.
Greetings, Master Jarvis. I will be discussing the bus assignment manager. The bus assignment manager class. Bus assignment manager is responsible for assigning buses to passenger by finding the nearest available bus and dispatching it. It manually computes distance using the city graph and ensures buses are properly updated when moving along routes. And the constructors of bus assignment manager, the constructor initialize the manager by taking a reference to the bus map and city graph. This prepares the class to scan buses and compute routes whenever a passenger needs a bus. Next is the methods of find nearest available bus. This method searches through all buses in the bus map, checks if each bus is available, and calculates the distance from each bus to the passenger's destination or pickup stop. It returns the bus that can reach the passenger fastest. This method is critical for prioritizing which bus to send. The next method is the dispatch. Dispatch bus. This method takes a bus and a passenger as parameters. It marks the bus as unavailable, computes the routes using the city graph, moves the bus to the passenger's destination, and marks the bus available again. It returns a route computation result object that details the stop and distance traveled. This ensures that buses are tracked correctly during trips. The next method is assign bus to passenger method. This higher level method combines the nearest bus search and the dispatch operation. When called with a passenger request, it automatically selects the optimal bus, sends it, and requests the route. It simplifies the workflow for handling multiple passengers' requests efficiently. Future use of the bus assignment manager class. This class is essential for processing passenger requests in real time. It will be invoked whenever a passenger is waiting for a pickup, ensuring the system correctly finds the best bus, updates its location, and logs the trip for reporting and visualization purposes. That's all po.
Greetings, Sir Janus. I'm Jeric Bilipante and I'm explaining the Request Manager class. For the Request Manager class, it handles all passenger requests and organize them based on urgency using a manual binary search tree. This ensures the system can quickly identify which passenger should be served first, simulating a real-world priority management. The constructors initialize the manager with an existing passenger tree. This allows the system to start with either an empty tree or one containing preloaded passenger requests. And for add passenger request method, this method inserts a new passenger into the BST. It first validates that the passenger is not null and that the urgency level is at least 1. After validation, the passenger is inserted into the tree according to urgency. This guarantees that the higher priority requests are always positioned to be retrieved first. Get urgent request method. This method searches for the passenger with the highest urgency level, removes them from the tree, and returns the passenger object. If no passengers are waiting, it returns null. It ensures the system are always served the most critical requests next. Has pending request method. This method simply checks whether there are any passenger left in the tree. It returns true if requests are pending and false if the tree is empty. This is useful for system logic that determines whether dispatching can proceed. Display all request method. This method traverses the BST in order and prints all passenger requests from lowest to highest urgency. It provides a clear view of pending requests for monitoring or debugging purposes. Future use of the Request Manager class. Request Manager is central to handling passenger queues in the system. Every time a passenger request is added or served, this class maintains a proper ordering by urgency, ensuring that the dispatch system always responds to the highest priority passengers first. That's all.
Dangal Buildings, Dangal Bayan. I'm Christina Teodorosa, and I am here to introduce to you the Summary Report Manager class. So in this class, it keeps all the records of all trips completed during the operation of the system. It also stores the passengers' information, the bus use, and the route distances, providing a complete log for recording and analysis. So first one, we have the constructor or the summary report manager. This initialize the empty arrays to store trip logs and distances, sets the trip counters to 0, and initialize the total distances. This ensures that every new manager started with a clean slate for tracking trips. Next one, we have the log trips. This method records a trip by taking a passenger, a bus, and the computed route computation result. It extracts the start and end stops and the distance. Then, it stores the data in array while updating the total distance and trip count. If the maximum capacity is reached, it warns the user. This guarantees accurate tracking for every trip in the system. Next one, we have the public void display report method. And this method prints all trips in a readable format and calculates the total number of trips and the average distance. If no trips are recorded, it will inform the user. It provides an easy way to see what trips have been completed and analyze overall system performance. Next one, we have the reset report method. So in this method, clears the trips count and the total distances. It allows the system to start a new simulation or testing session without leftover data from the previous round. The next one is the getters, which is the get trip. First is the get trip logs. So in this getter methods, which is the get trip logs, get trip distances, get trip count, and get total distances. These methods allow external classes to access trip logs. From the trip logs, distances, and total trips, also with the total distances. It also copies the return when appropriate to prevent accidental modification. These are essential for table styling, display, or integration with other reporting systems. For the future use of the Summary Report Manager class, this class is critical for getting the summary output and report. Any feature that requires performance tracking, trip visualization, or statistical analysis will rely on this manager to provide accurate, organized, and accessible data. That's all. Thank you.
Greetings, sir. My name is Brian Regalado, and I'm going to explain our code, which is my part is the initializer class. So here, this is the code, and the introduction for this is the initializer sets up the core data structure of the system, including the city graph, bus map, and passenger request tree. It can either start the system completely empty or preload sample data to allow immediate testing and demonstration. So in the line 28, here the public void initialize empty. So this method creates a new empty city graph, bus map, and passenger tree and sets the stop names array to empty. It ensures that the system starts from scratch without any preloaded data, useful for custom setups or new simulations. So the next one that I will explain is the line 37, which is initialize with sample data. So here this method sets up the system with predefined stops, routes, buses, and passengers. It manually sets the city graph and with stops and connections register bus in the bus map, and it inserts passengers into the passenger tree. This allows instant testing and demonstration of system features without manual input. So the next one is the line 78, which is the public city graph, get bus map, and get passenger tree. So this tree is the getter methods return the current city graph, bus map, and passenger tree objects. They allow other managers to access the initialized data structure safely for operation like dispatching buses or handling requests. So the next one is the line 83, which is the public int get stop index by name. So this line is this method searches through the stop names array to find the index of a stop given its name. It is used when converting user input or other textual stop references into indices that the graph or bus map can use for computations. So the next one, here, the line 94. So this method returns a copy of the stop names array to prevent external modifications. It is used when displaying available stops or populating selection menus. So and lastly, future use of the system initializer class. So this class is key. This class is key during system startup. Whether starting fresh or loading sample data, it ensures that all other managers have the correct and ready to use data structures for testing, simulations, and demonstration. So that's all, and the next reporter will report the rest of our code. Thank you, sir.
So, greetings everyone. So, I'm Rajan Isaac Irinian from 2ITC. So, I'm going to explain the System Manager class. So, for our System Manager class, it is the central controller of the IPTMS system. It links all managers that request bus assignment, visualization, and the summary reporting, and provides a menu-driven interface for user interaction and system operations. So for our constructor in line 34, this constructor initializes all managers, sets up the buffered reader for input, and prepares empty system structures using system initializer. And also, it ensures that the system is ready for operation and all the supporting managers are connected. Next, for our invoke system manager method, which is in line 56, this method runs the main system loop and repeatedly displaying the menu and handling user choices. And it keeps the simulation running until until the user chooses to exit and acting as the system's main operational cycle. Next, for our load menu method, which is on line 65, this method prints the main menu options to the console. So it also guides the user in selecting actions such as adding stops, registering buses, processing passenger requests, and generating reports. Next is the option handler method, which is in line 80. So this method takes the user's menu choice and executes the corresponding operation. It also acts as the decision point, linking menu selections to the specific functionalities of the system. Next is load sample data, which is in line 96. This helper method loads pre-built sample data into the system, including the stops, routes, buses, and passengers. And it also reinitializes the managers to ensure that all operations can work with the newly loaded sample data. Next is for the line 110, which is the add bus stop method. This method prompts the user to enter a bus stop name and adds it to the city graph. And it also input validation, ensures that the stop name is not empty. This method allows dynamic expansion of the network during runtime. Next is the add route method, which is in line 123. It collects from and to stop indices and distance from the user, then adds a directed route in the city graph. It also validates and ensures that indices are valid and the distance is positive, and this is also used to build the city's transportation network interactively. For the register bus method, which is in line 153, it prompts for a bus ID and stop index, then creates a new bus object and inserts it into the bus map. The input validation guarantees correct IDs and valid stop locations, and this method supports fleet management during runtime. Next is the add passenger request, which is in line 175. It collects passengers' name, pick up and destination stops, and the urgency level. It also creates a passenger object and adds it to the request manager. The validation ensures proper input and guarantees that requests are complete and usable. Next is the dispatch next request, which is in line 214. It finds the most urgent passenger request and assigns the nearest available bus using Bus Assignment Manager. It logs the trip in Summary Report Manager and visualizes the route. This method executes the core simulation of bus dispatching. Next is the display all request method. The display all request method displays all pending passengers requests sorted by urgency. It uses request manager to show the current system workload and helps in debugging or testing priority handling. Next is in line here, line 251, which is the display summary report. The display summary report method prints a formatted table of all completed trips showing passenger names, bus IDs, origin, destination, and distance. It also calculates totals and averages for easier performance assessment. It uses Summary Report Manager to consolidate and display results. Next is for read int, read int, and read string method. This method helps for a safe user input collection, and this collects this repeatedly prompt the user until a valid integer or non-empty string is entered, and it reduces the runtime errors. Next is for line 307, the extract value method. It parses a formatted log string to extract specific pieces of information such as passenger name or distance, and it also supports summary report table formatting. And for the last method, the generate ID method, it generates unique IDs for new passengers to ensure no duplicates. It's essential for tracking passengers and maintaining data integrity. And for the future use of the System Manager class, System Manager serves as the operational backbone of the IPTMS. It handles user interaction, coordinates all other managers, and drives the main simulation loop, effectively acting as the system's front end and main control center. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Greetings everyone, I am Lovely Kate Collis and this is my part, the Visualization Manager. Visualization Manager provides simple console-based stat displays to represent bus trips and routes. It is designed to help users visualize trips clearly without relying on advanced graphical tools. The first class is Visualization Manager. This is named Visualization Manager because its purpose is to show bus routes and trip details in the console. The first method is display route. It accepts a route computation as input. The code first checks if the route is null. If it's null, it prints that there is no route to display and stops the method. If the route exists, it gets the list of stop names from the route. It also gets the total distance of the whole trip, and then prints a header called bus route visualization. Then it loops through each stop in the list. For every stop, it prints the stop name. If the stop is not in the last one, it prints an arrow with the total distance to show movement to the next stop. After finishing the loop, it prints a new line and a message saying the trip is completed. The second method is the display trip summary. It takes the passenger's name, the bus ID, the starting stop, the end stop, and the distance. It prints a header called Trip Summary, then it displays the passenger's name, It shows the bus ID, it prints the starting and point and the destination, and then shows the total distance of the trip. To close the method, it prints a closing line to mark the end of the summary.